Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending May 11th, 2022. As always, there's lots to talk about when it comes to prices. Before I get into that, let me tell you what, I've been reading a lot of articles lately on buyer's remorse. I try to be, I believe I am, very neutral. I'm neutral in the numbers I report. Prices go up, prices go down. I'm just trying to tell you the numbers the way they really are. And I don't believe in good markets or bad markets. They're just markets. So when I read this article of buyer's remorse, let me play both sides of the coin here. How come we didn't read any articles over the last 3 years on seller's remorse? Because sellers were selling at one price, but come closing day, the price was much higher. Buyers were happy. Sellers, they thought, man, why did I sell when if I would have waited, I could have got more? We didn't read any articles on that. But here we are today. We're in a declining market as far as prices go and sales. But, we're talking about prices and lots of articles on buyer's remorse. I'm getting phone calls from people I never work with, people that watch me here on this channel and will book a call and will tell me, we bought a house at the peak and now we're nervous because prices are lower. Maybe we shouldn't have bought, and they're having buyer's remorse. So I asked them, I say, look, have you closed yet? If they haven't closed, there could be some financial implications there. But most of the calls I'm getting are from people that have closed and they're living in their home. They're just following the market so tight, and they feel, man, if they would have bought now, for sure they could have got the home $200,000-$300,000 less, for example. So I'll ask them, when you bought the home, was the plan to flip it in 6 months or a year, or were you planning to stay there for multiple years? And almost always they say they plan to stay there for multiple years. So I say to them, then why does it matter that right now the market's less? Maybe your parents, there's lots of people out there that are sitting on a ton of equity in their home. All they did was they bought a house many years ago to raise their family. They bought it to raise their family, and all they did was make their mortgage payments. They don't have multiple investments. They got the one house they bought 10 years, 20 years ago, and now they're millionaires. They have all this equity built up. But they didn't do anything special. They didn't follow the market on a weekly basis. Maybe I'm part of the problem because I break the numbers down on a weekly basis. But they just lived. And so I'll ask these people, buyer's remorse, like, your plan was to live there. Remember when you put the offer together, you were so excited to get it, and you pictured having birthday parties in the house. You maybe popped the champagne bottle when you moved in. Well, forget what the market is doing right now. You are planning to live there. As long as financially you can afford it, it's fine. Enjoy your house. Don't take that away, the enjoyment of you living in your house, the reason you bought it in the first place for the long term. Don't take that away because the market is lower right now. Just like those people that have lots of equity now, but they went through high markets and low markets, and all they did was live and enjoy their house. That's my message for today. If you think this could help anybody, please pass the video along. Let's get into the numbers. If you're looking to get into a great starter detached home in East Woodbridge, stick around to the end of the video. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. Now, this is for York Region, this video. On different days of the week, I do just for the city of Toronto I report on Peel and Durham regions. Today, just York Region for Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham. And then we'll cover condos for all of York Region. So I have here Vaughan, detached properties only, broken down by week for a whole year. We sold for week ending May 11th, 20 detached properties in Vaughan. This is the real story. Prices aside, we've got like 20, I was going to say no sales. It feels like no sales. 20 sales, detached properties. The last time we did that low sales, it's in the Christmas week where we did 8 and 12. The first week of January we did 18. So 20, it's extremely, extremely low. Average sold price went up from last week to $1,929,000, and that sounds a lot on its own. 1,929, you know, just a bit under 2 million. But average sold price has been coming down, and the fact that it's at 1.9, such a big jump from the previous week, has a lot to do with we sold only 20. 8 of those were at $2 million or more. So, you know, when you get that kind of percentage of the total sales at $2 million, it's going to shoot the average price up. And that's just the nature of average sold price. It is affected by those big sales and the low sales. But overall, look at the trend. We're trending down, no question. Compared to last year, average sold price is 17% higher than last year's average sold price. If we look at the median price is sitting at just under 1.8 million, and it's 19% higher than last year's average. No, it's high. First day with my new lips, forgive me. Median price is 19% higher than last year's median price. And if we kind of sit back and just look at the burgundy line, that's the median prices, you'd see it. There's less volatility up and down with the median price, but it's coming down. Looking at the 20 sales, 20% of those sold at list price or more. We used to be selling in the 80s, 91% at list price or more. Now it's 20%. The market is shifting down. It's a different market right now. We are 33% less sales year to date than what we were selling last year. So it's a whole different world these days. We listed 104, which is kind of in line with what we've been listing over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Active listings is up a little bit to 305, and I put more value on active listings versus how many properties are actually listed, because I don't know which ones in here are where somebody, for example, puts a house up, it doesn't sell, they cancel that listing, they relist it at another price. But active listing tells me how many properties are actually available for sale midnight, May 11th, and the number is 305. So we look at active listings, we look at sales, which was only 20. We divide that into each other, and the months of inventory is now sitting at 3.5 months of inventory. You know, balanced market we say is between 4 to 6 months of inventory. We're at 3.5, and with prices declining, it kind of feels like we're already in a balanced market right now, especially when we were used to 0.4, 0.5 months of inventory. 3.5 is like heaven right now as far as buyers and taking the time to, it's a whole different with prices coming down. Here's Richmond Hill. We sold 19. If you thought it was getting better, we did 20 sales in Vaughan. 19 detached properties were sold in Richmond Hill. 11 of those were at $2 million or more. And average sold price is up a bit to $2,059,000. Average price is coming down though in Richmond Hill. Compared to last year, $2,059,000 is 13% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price shot up last week, and you know, usually in median price there's a lot less volatility as far as up and down on a weekly basis. However, when you're only selling 19 and 20, the lower amount of sales figures, the more volatility you do get in the median price. So median price is sitting at $2,050,000, almost what the average sold price is, and median price is 28% higher than what it was a year ago. If you look at median price, you can see though that it is coming down. So overall sales year to date were a third less sales this year than what we were selling last year. And of the 19 that did sell, 58% sold at list price or more. Listings year to date are 16% less. We listed 77 detached properties in Richmond Hill last week. 77 is kind of in line to what we've been listing over the last 4 or 5 weeks on a weekly basis. Active listings is 273, and months of inventory is up from the previous week. It's now sitting at 3.3 months of inventory. So Vaughan, 3.5 months of inventory. Richmond Hill, 3.3 months of inventory. Average days on market for Richmond Hill is 15. Here's Markham. We sold 30. Markham is normally having the least sales of Vaughan and Richmond Hill, but this week Markham seems to jump way up there at 30. We go from 20 to 30 sales, and I'm like, wow, lots of sales. We sold 30 detached homes in Markham. 6 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $1,190,000, way up from the previous week. But if we look at the trend is more important than what happens on a weekly basis. We can see average sold price coming down. $1,990,000 is 14% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price is sitting at $1,759,000, and median price is 13% higher than what it was a year ago. Average sold price is coming down. So prices overall for the 3 cities are coming down, but still higher than last year. Take that how you want, but you know, that's the reality of the numbers right now. Of the 30 that sold, 20%, so just like Vaughan, 20% sold at list price or more. So there's not as much, very few actually, 20%, where there's paying list price, paying over competition. We used to be at 80s and 90s, and now we're at 20% selling at list price or more. Look at the sales year to date though. We're approaching half. 46% less sales this year than what we were selling last year. Now last year we were on a record pace for sales. We broke all sorts of sales records. We do expect less sales this year. We can't just keep up at that full throttle all the time. But 46% less is a huge drop in sales. We listed 80 detached properties. 250 are the active listings. Year-to-date listings are down 25% from last year. And months of inventory came down from last week, sitting now at 1.9 months of inventory. We can look back at 0.7, 0.6. It has been coming up. The reason this is not higher this week's months of inventory is because for the 1 week we jumped up to 30 sales. I imagine next week we're going to have a higher months of inventory. It's kind of what I expect, but we'll see what happens there. And the average days on market is 19. When we look at condos, this is for all York region now, we sold 41 condos. 7 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $800,000 now for condos in York region. $800,000 is 25% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price is 20% higher than last year's median price. Now when it comes to condo prices, yes, they're sloping down. They're not coming down at the same rate that detached properties are coming down, but you can see the line sloping down a bit. When we look at sales, year-to-date sales, we're 23% less sales. Of the 41 that sold, 63% sold at list price or more. So somewhat competitive. Lots of listings though. All of a sudden we went from 130 listings to 169 listings. 419 are the amount of listings available for sale, active listings. And year-to-date sales are 9% higher this year than what they were last year. And months of inventory has stayed the same at 2.4 months of inventory. Here's the summary. Vaughan and Richmond Hill, months of inventory went up. For Markham, it came down. For York Region, it stayed the same. But overall, months of inventory over the last few weeks is higher than what it was the previous month. Months of inventory is going up. Prices are sloping down. This is the market we're in now. Could be good for you, could not be good for you. It all depends on what you're doing. Either way, get good consultation on your real estate decisions. Have an awesome day. Thanks.